This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture. Bring on the host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs.
Hello everyone, I'm Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs and the host of Vegas Rock Dog Radio. On today's show, I'm talking about New Year's resolutions for pet parents and news from around the animal world. So stay right there.
Let's bring on the host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm your host Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs, and this is Vegas Rock Dog Radio. We're a rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. And it's a brand new year. Very excited about that. In studio with me today is Mr. Jim.
Good morning, and it is the morning.
Oh, gosh, here we go. Is it going to be like that now?
I don't know. I didn't have anything to say.
And
I'm trying to make it up.
We've got Mr. Twix in studio, and we've got Miss Thornton in studio. Galaxy looks down on us from the Rainbow Bridge to make sure we always do a good show for everyone.
Thornton looks across from her own personal poang.
She does. We have a poang in the studio, and I don't think I've ever sat on it
because it's not
her,
yours.
It's her poang. Well, if you're first time listening to us, thank you so much for listening in, and a big hello to our regular listeners. And if you'd like to find us elsewhere on the internet, you can go to our website, vegasrockdogradio.com. You'll find us on Periscope, Facebook, Twitter. We're already started. Twitter and Pinterest. I should figure out a way to hybridize all the social media names.
Yeah, Twitter Pitter.
You know, a bit like Chris McCawanza. Maybe I can do a Peribook Pitter Blah. Which would be Periscope, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, and Instagram. Oh my gosh, we have a dog. We have a dog. We have two dogs. We have a blog, therockandrolldog.com. And if you do miss the live show, you can find us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spoke by SiriusXM, and Spotify. We have a second show on iTunes. It is called Pet Tip of the Day. What is that noise? I'm getting a bit of a feedback thing. What do you reckon that is?
I don't know, because I don't hear it in my headphones.
I hear it in
I actually
my head.
have better headphones than you do. So what I hear is more important.
It's a funny little ring.
Okay.
Let's see if it persists or not.
Thank you.
This is how you can tell it's a live show.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
A podcast, they would have just edited this bit out entirely. Hey, but we're real, aren't we, Jim? We are real and authentic. Yeah. Anyway, so you can find the show. If you missed the live show, you can find the show on all of those platforms and any other podcast app that you may have on your phone. Of course, you can listen on your computer as well. Today's show is a dedicated show to Rosie. And as many of you know, on occasion, I mention our friend Sarah back home in the UK. And to me, she is just a model pet parent, giving her dogs Rosie and Pip a life that any dog would want. They go for long country walks, they fly ball sessions, aquatherapy classes, good food, and lots of friends to socialise with. And Rosie had been struggling with a partial tracheal collapse. that also brought along some other health complications with it. Sarah's done everything possible for Rosie until it got to a point where she was truly suffering and it was unbearable for her. And of course it would be for her mom. And it's a decision that bears the weight of the world, and no one wants to make it, but Sarah did have to make that decision to let Rosie be in peace. And along with her great friend Andrea, they helped her go over the Rainbow Bridge. Now, as you can imagine, I was devastated to get Sarah's message. And Rosie had a family beyond her immediate family who loved her dearly, from the pet sitter to her flyball friends, and they're going to miss her terribly. Rosie brought those friends into Sarah's life also, which dogs have a special way of doing that, don't they, Jim? They expand your circle of friends. So I'd like to celebrate Rosie and her mum because they did so much for each other, and most of all, they brought love into each other's lives. And so this show today is dedicated to Miss Rosie. My tip of the week I'm getting a weird feedback, Jim. Sorry about this, everyone.
Okay, well, it's not happening here, so continue.
It's making me...
Continue.
It's the kind of thing that make me like nuts. Okay. Anyway, so my tip of the week kind of like goes into that, how do you memorialize, memorialize, is that even a word? Yeah, I think it might be. But I saw a great idea on social media using a dog's collar. It was a memorial to a pet that had passed, and I just thought it was really lovely. And the person who'd lost their dog had found a really pretty planter, and they'd placed the collar around the planter, and then they added some succulents to it, and she called it a treasure plant. I just thought it was a very, very sweet idea, and it's just a way of saying that they do live on, and a way of keeping a little bit of them around. And we talked about that with a friend the other day, about people saying, "No, I can't bring myself to get rid of their stuff." But do you really have to? We haven't. We've kept all of Galaxy's stuff, haven't we? It's just around the house as if she was here, which we feel she is here. So I just thought it was a really, really sweet thing to do. Really sweet. So this show today, this is for you, Rosie. We've got... let's do some updates. We've got some news updates. Oh, gosh. Well, it's the new year. Jim, did you put any New Year's resolutions together?
No.
He never does.
I don't do resolutions. I live a good life.
You do live a good life. Well, so. I like to do resolutions. I really, really, to be honest with you, they're goals. When you think about it, they're goals. And a lot of those goals always include my pets anyway. But it inspired me to write a blog post around goals for pet parents. And we're going to talk about them later on in the show. So we're going to do a little...
Well, I do have a resolution.
Go on.
Oh, I'm going to buy a new bicycle.
That's not a resolution.
Sure is. I'm resolute in that. I will be buying a bicycle.
To add to your other bicycles.
And it will not be cheap, so I have to get a good plan together.
Well, you have to be really good.
No.
Right, I'm getting a ring off something. I'm getting a whistle feedback.
Yeah, well.
No, it's going to make me crazy.
You need to not make it your theme today because I've done all the adjustments that I can on the equipment.
There's something. It's like, I swear to God, do you know what it sounds like? It sounds like, I've got a glass of water next to me because I certainly did not hydrate enough this morning before the show.
Change the angle of your microphone. And
I will do, but if when you rub your finger.
You might just have a whistle in your nose today.
No, I don't. It's in my right ear. I can hear it.
No.
When you get a wine glass, and you rub your finger on the top and you get that, that's what I'm hearing. So.
That's great.
I digress.
All right, thanks.
Sometimes we get off track.
And moving on. Moving on with your show.
Yeah,
Yay.
Let me change my angle a little bit on this.
Yeah, change your angle. Change your approach.
Shouldn't we all? It's a new year, Jim. So where was I going? So I've written this blog post for us, and it's for pet parents. I'm going to talk about about that shortly. Jim's had an exciting week. You want to tell everyone what you did on Thursday night? You don't remember?
I do remember, for crying out loud.
Go on.
I've been working now with Frankie. It's 2.5 years now that I've been on this version of his show, Frankie Marino's show. And we recapped an amazing 2018, 9 symphony orchestra performances. It's been unbelievable, including Carnegie Hall. We debuted several records releases. Christmas record made it into the top 10 in its first week release.
Yeah, it did.
He just released his new country single 2 days ago.
Yeah, which is very good.
Thursday night.
Why is the whiskey always gone?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And I'm glad to be a part of an amazing group of 10 people. I mean, it really is one of the finest groups of players that I've ever worked with. We did our regular show performance in Las Vegas, and it was being filmed for a PBS special.
Isn't that fun?
So
Have you an idea
stay
when
tuned
that's
for
going to
when
air?
it's going to air.
Oh, you're not sure. So you've had an exciting week, a busy week, of course. Busy week for me too. I think a lot of people are busy at this time of year. As I say, lots of us do New Year's resolutions, or really just goals. Goals are good to have, or work towards them. Anyway, we have a funny story. We were just at a wedding in San Diego for one of the band members, actually. And we have a funny story. Well, it wasn't funny at the time. It was a bit distressing. So we went to get a coffee at this great place called Better Buzz Coffee in San Diego. And while I'm waiting for Jim to get the coffee, two girls sat next to me, and I hear what sounds like a yelp or a dog barking.
Behind a big walk-in freezer door.
Yeah, and it was behind a walk-in freezer door. And the two girls next to me went, "Oh, did you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "It came out of there, didn't it?" They said, "Yeah, it was behind that door." And I go, "Oh my gosh." And it looked like an older building. So I said, "Is that a real freezer? Or have they just used the door as a decorative door? It's not a freezer." She goes, "No, that's that freezer." I said, "What?" So I hear this again. I was, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "Jim, go get the people that work here. There's something not right." Well, you heard it, didn't you, Jim?
Yes, I did. And I was skeptical.
You were not skeptical at all.
And you were a nutbag.
No, I wasn't a nutbag.
You were.
So we got the lady. She went, where? And he points, and she goes, "That's our freezer." And we said, "He's coming right from behind it." Anyway, the guy next to us, she said, because it's a room, isn't it? That freezer's a room.
It's a walk-in freezer.
With a second door on the other side that we couldn't see.
A walk-in freezer, yes.
Yeah. And the guy says, the seal's broken on the other door, so every time they access it, it's like a whoosh, like, wah! I'm just happy it wasn't a dog in the freezer, because in my mind I'm thinking, did someone go home from work last night, didn't know a dog got in the freezer and it's been there all night? Oh, we've always got a good dog story, haven't we, Jim? Mm-hmm. Anyway, good news, it was not a dog, it was just a squeaky door. Oh my goodness. The stories. Well, let's get into a little bit of news. A little bit of news in the animal world. Russia, Jim, passes an extensive animal cruelty ban, but still plans to label specific dog breeds as dangerous. So it's a bit. Whoa, what was that? What was that?
Little
Sneeze?
Miss has been licking her front paw, and now she probably had a hair.
Oh.
Take it easy, Tina.
So this is what happened in Russia. It took 8 years to pass, but a bill signed into law recently now bans all forms of animal cruelty in Russia. Yes to that. The Russian news agency, TASS, and the new law is based on responsible, ethical, and human treatment of animals. Yeah, I'm loving this. Anyway, the comprehensive legislation reportedly signed by Russian President Vladimir Putin and uploaded to the official online database of Russian legislative information includes banning petting zoos. Oh, I'm all for that. Animal fighting. Yep. Keeping exotic animals as pets and housing animals in bars and restaurants. Now, that's something that you don't see much here, but in other countries you do see a lot of that. Anyway, the law also bans the killing of stray dogs and cats, which will now be placed in shelters instead. I mean, it was worth it for the 8 years fight to get this passed. And it further stipulates that the capturing of stray animals must be recorded on cameras and information about them must be made public. Oh, I love this. Anyway, strict rules of pet ownership have also been established under the new legislation. Walking dogs in designated areas and finding owners for failing to pick up after them are among the new stipulations that will be regulated by public inspectors, who are tasked with recording violations and sending them to the government oversight authorities. Do you know how much I'm loving this news, Jim? This is like the best news ever.
There's been good news lately.
Yeah.
Lots of it.
The document also stipulates, as noted by TASS, that dogs of potentially dangerous breeds must be muzzled and on a leash while taken on a walk. The only exception is when a dog is on its owner's private property, which must be marked with a warning sign. The list of dangerous breeds is being compiled by the Russian government. Sadly, this does not reflect the owner's responsibility to properly raise an animal that is not dangerous. Some of the most docile and sweet dogs that this is, some of the dogs out, sweetest dogs out there are unfairly labeled as dangerous, including pit bulls. And I think we've all experienced that. And they wrote at the end of this article, it's not the dog, it's the human. But I'd like to add this, Jim. It's also the science. There's been nothing to prove that any dog is born inherently vicious and dangerous.
None. Not a single one.
So you've got your science, you've got your research, and then you've got your level of education. And I think this is just where they're falling short. But I don't think we should criticize them for that, because they've just put these incredible laws into place that are phenomenal. I mean, they're so impressive. And I've always said before, let's get progress before we start complaining that it's not perfect. And it will take time, but it's an education thing. People are at different points of understanding when it comes to animal welfare and the knowledge that they have on dogs. So, for example, I don't know if you saw this, Jim, the video of the calf in a veal crate licking a snowflake.
Terrible. Hate that video.
But some saw that as cute, while other people saw it as cruel. Now, I saw it as cruel, and many did, but on very different levels. Some didn't see the crate at all in the picture, or the conditions, or the confinement and isolation. Others saw a calf that would go to slaughter within 6 months of its life, having been taken away from its mother, deprived of its mother and, of course, natural nourishment. And then others saw the loneliness, the separation, isolation. And again, that's another level of cruelty when an animal is not allowed the freedom to be a baby cow and have space. So this is, I think, a prime example of different levels of education, knowledge and experience that people have. And of course, there are people who absolutely couldn't care less about animals and will say, oh, that cow's having a great time, even though it's going to go to slaughter and it's by itself, you know what I mean, and confined. So when you see these videos, I think it's really important. I think we'll start a campaign. When you see these videos, take a really good look at the image or the video and the situation, the environment, the animal's reactions, and ask yourself, is it cute or is it cruel? And I think that's a prime example of this, of where people are when it comes to education. And some countries are not where they need to be, but this is a massive step. This is a massive step. They recognize that you need to not fight animals. You need to not have pictures of animals. You need to not go pet animals because it's extremely stressful for them. And I think they'll catch up. But let me tell you something. Their laws, some of those laws are better than what we've got here.
Yeah,
absolutely they are. Now the whole we've still got a fair bit of that going on in Ireland. We still have it in England with the breeds. Let me tell you about this. And of course, that is coming up for discussion, I think, in Parliament, which is really good. And we do have an animal welfare. What's the word?
Commission.
No, it's a man. Animal welfare minister, I think it is. Yes,
you have a lot of ministers.
Yeah,
I think strange country,
and it's
minister of this, minister of that, minister of silly walks.
Yeah.
Remember Minister of Silly Walks?
Yes, I do.
Famous, wrecked his hips over that.
I know
skit.
he did. We're talking about Monty Python. We're talking about John Cleese. Anyway, so the way it is in England is they still have this list of animals that they say are vicious and dangerous. And if you've got one of those breeds, you have to take them down for an assessment.
Yeah, that should be people.
And then they decide whether your dog needs to be muzzled in public. And that's it's going to be up for discussion, which is good. And Ireland needs to do the same. And no doubt Russia will get there as well. But it's great news. Isn't that great news? I mean, that's like a big sweeping, this is what's happening. I love the fact they've got people out ticketing people to pick up their poop. It's not right. Pick up your poop. Pick up your poo. In other news, and again, great news. This is a victory coming out of Iowa, where my friend Pam lives. Corntown. Iowa ag-gag law ruled unconstitutional. And undercover investigations at factory farms are protected by the First Amendment. So our fantastic friends over at the Animal Legal Defense Fund have led this coalition. But the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Iowa struck down the Iowa Ag-Gag law, holding that the ban on undercover investigations at factory farms and slaughterhouses violates the First Amendment. So in 2017, I say our fantastic friends over at Animal Legal Defense Fund led a coalition of animal, environmental, and community advocacy groups in challenging the law's constitutionality. Federal courts similarly struck down ag-gag laws in Idaho and Utah as unconstitutional. And Iowa's ag-gag law criminalizes undercover investigations at a broad range of animal facilities, including factory farms, puppy mills, and slaughterhouses. This is to try and prevent advocates from exposing animal cruelty and environmental workers' rights, as well as food safety violations. The law achieved its goal of suppressing undercover investigations. No investigations have taken place since the law passed in 2012. So get ready. And this stuff, it has to be exposed. It does. It impacts animals. It impacts people as well. Anyway, gag laws are a pernicious attempt by animal exploitation industries to hide some of the worst forms of animal abuse in the United States, said Executive Director Stephen Wells. I've interviewed Stephen before, one of my all-time favorite interviews.
Super intelligent guy.
Oh, my God, and what a brilliant organization. And he said today's victory makes it clear that the government cannot protect these industries at the expense of our constitutional rights. And he said for more than a century, the public has relied on undercover investigations to expose illegal and cruel practices on factory farms and slaughterhouses. And no federal laws govern the condition in which farmed animals are raised. And laws addressing slaughter and transport are laxly enforced. Undercover investigations are the primary avenue through which the public receives information about animal agricultural operations. And Iowa is the biggest producer of pigs raised for meat and hens raised for eggs in the United States, making it critically important that the investigations are not suppressed. The Animal Legal Defense Fund is the nation's preeminent legal advocacy organization for animals and led coalitions to strike down ag-gag laws in Idaho and Utah. Litigation against the North Carolina ag-gag law is ongoing, and I don't doubt for 1 minute they're not going to have success there as well. So yeah, it's really, really great news. I'm really, really happy about that. And I sent it over to Pam this morning. And I said, hey, good news coming out of Iowa for you. But she has a hard time. She sees all those pigs going to slaughter, on the trucks, and it kills her.
What's interesting? Pam is kind of like, we live in Las Vegas where people call it Sin City. Well, it's like almost 3 million people that live here. It's a big family town too. But they always made jokes, what's a priest doing in the middle of Sin City? Mm. Well, Pam, being the animal advocate she is, in the middle of Iowa, is like a priest being in the middle of Las Vegas.
Yes, it is, honestly. I don't know how she copes sometimes. She moved there earlier last year, and I just don't know how she copes because they've got some of the worst animal laws. In fact, they're one of the worst states, I think. And, of course, you've got this ag-gag thing. Thankfully, it's going to change. But, she's having to witness people chaining up the dogs outside. And people aren't on board with, good nutrition, and let alone raw feeding. They're still vaccinating like it's going out of fashion. And it's not that. She's got a work cut out for her. I mean, there's always good that comes out of having a Pam in a place like Iowa, So that's good news, and I'm really, really thrilled about that. And there's one more piece of news before we take a break. And again, I think this is it's great news. It's coming out of Scotland, and the designer dogs and cat breeding is going to be outlawed in Scotland this year under new regulations. And when they put these regulations together, it is with a heck of a lot of research and recommendations. It's not, someone just comes forward and says, I think we should just ban this. I mean, there are reasons and research and information available on this. But the breeding of designer pets could be effectively outlawed by this year, and the Scottish government plans to tighten the licensing of dog, cat and rabbit breeding to stop people breeding these animals in poor conditions and then selling them on. And a consultation was launched between September and November to help stakeholders shape new regulations. And this week in Parliament, the Minister of Rural Affairs, Mairi Gudjon, said that the responses will be published at the end of the month with the hope to introduce legislation. Part of the new approach would involve harmful breeding practices by discouraging the breeding of pets with a predisposition for genetic conditions, which can lead to health problems in later life. As a condition of licensing, breeding practices likely to cause the offspring suffering in later life will be prohibited. And as I start listing some of these things, you're going to go, yeah, seen that. That's awful. Yeah, and this is how it happens. So in recent years, there's been a growth in demand, and I think we can all, attest to this, for pets with a particular physical feature, such as a short nose and big protruding eyes and, extra long ears. And it's certainly incentivized breeders for extreme characteristics in some breeds, but it does heighten the risk of these terrible genetic conditions that can seriously affect their health in the future and the well-being of the animal. And it can also place unexpected financial strain on the owner, as many of those pets will need ongoing and costly veterinary care and surgeries. I mean, I'm hearing about people whose bulldogs, the folds are so bad, they're over their eyes, they can't see, and they're having to have surgeries.
It's just ridiculous.
It's horrible. Anyway, of course, there's always concern over these Scottish puppy farms as well, which, in England, they've banned the third-party sales, which is a great thing. Anyway, the Scottish fold cat, which has a genetic defect preventing it from forming cartilage, and the absence of which causes long-term arthritis. Your Munchkin cat, disproportionate short legs.
You're a Munchkin cat.
Shut up, you. Yeah, if I was a cat, I think I would be a Munchkin cat. The Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, which can be bred to have an unnaturally small skull that compresses the brain, and it affects its spinal cord. And then, like I said, English bulldogs, French bulldogs, and pugs. And of course, they have those breathing problems caused by narrow constricted airways, pinched nostrils, squat necks, and and if they're 1 ounce overweight, it's going to be an even bigger problem. And of course, I think a lot of this is driven by celebrities who buy these breeds, and all their fans want them, and then the demand is there, and here we go. It's seriously, it's like fashion. It's like, what's the latest shoe that just came out? Because my favorite celebrity is wearing it. It really is, when it comes down to it. It's come down to that, because it's all about looks. It's never about health. Anyway, a spokeswoman for the animal welfare charity Dogs Trust, big organisation, said one particularly welcome inclusion in the new regulations is how to protect offspring from inherited defects, including disease and other health problems. This includes brachycephalic issues, the result of a shortened skull, and how it impacts the breeds. There has been a big demand, I will say, for pugs, French bulldogs and English bulldogs, I have to tell you. But we're seeing these characteristics, and they're not good. I mean, even affects their ability to breathe and even play and have fun. They can't breathe. Scottish SPCA Chief Superintendent Mike Flynn, he said that the SPCA believes that all animals should be bred to enjoy a normal life and be able to freely express normal behaviours, which include being free from pain. See, he's right on the level of the 5 freedoms of animal welfare right there. They totally get it. And so while he gave evidence at the Public Petitions Committee, they had a special investigation unit, and they said, there's an unquestionable appetite amongst the public for some of these breeds, and they're defined as either new breeds or designer breeds, but really just messing up these dogs, And there are some other features as well. They're going to lower the threshold for license requirements. So existing breed legislation allows 5 or more litters a year before a license is required, meaning up to 40 puppies could be produced without any legal obligation or licensing inspections before that. So the government proposes to lower the threshold so that a license requirement will apply to either anyone in the business of breeding and selling dogs, cats, or rabbits in a 12-month period, anyone producing 3 or more litters from their dogs, cats, or rabbits in a 12-month period. So, they're lowering that, which is a really good thing. Now it means they can regulate it. Brilliant. Other details are, when is it going to, be updated? But they say the overall aim is to enhance protection of animals whose welfare is at risk, while creating a system that does not add to the burden of animal welfare organisations. It's great. This is a very big picture look at this, isn't it, Jim? It's not one little section of it. And, and to breeders who are already working to a very, very high standard. And the welfare of domestic animals, especially pups, can be endangered as a result of the conditions they experience from birth and how they're cared for in the early formative weeks of their lives. Specific issues previously identified by the RSPCA, which, by the way, if you don't know what that stands for, it's the Royal Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. It first started in my hometown of Sheffield.
Rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, in fact, would you get me the date on that, Jim? It's the Sheffield RSPCA when it was founded. And actually, I'm going to go a little bit off topic. It was founded also to help working horses in Sheffield because there were never any troughs with any water available. And to this day now, they had troughs installed, but they were made out of stone. They still exist. And that's kind of how it was started because they were working horses. Anyway.
And Sheffield was instrumental in memorializing all war horses as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. I think we talked about that on a previous show. So they say, puppies being separated from their mothers too early result in poor physical and mental health.
1873.
1873.
That was
That was a good year.
that was 11 years before my hometown was laid out by its original surveyors.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've been going quite some time by that time, Jim. But they also talk about not being socialized at the right age, leading to chronic behavioral problems, dogs being kept in unsanitary and unsafe conditions. And, of course, that results in the spread of disease as well. So the bill also aims to ensure a more responsible and informed approach to acquiring and having a puppy or a dog. Responsible dog owners need to consider whether they'll be able to look after the puppies by providing for its daily needs in terms of food, water, drink, shelter, and exercise. And there's no time scale at the moment, but the Minister of Rural Affairs said he wants to introduce the legislation soon after the stakeholder consultation on the proposal when it comes to an end. So the online consultation document, I'll put a link to that because it's very interesting. But lots of great news in the animal world, and I'm very happy to be able to deliver that to you. So
actually, my hometown was actually laid out 2 years after the Sheffield RSPCA was founded. Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting. We love a little bit of history, don't we, Jim? On that note, let's take a break. And when we come back, let's talk about those New Year's resolutions to improve your pet's health. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Dinovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sam. I'm your host. I'm the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs. Thank you for listening into the show. I feel like I am deaf today. I swear. I feel like I can hear that crazy whistling, but I feel like I'm underwater a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's making me insane. Have you heard about, you have audio weapons?
Yeah, there's no audio weapons.
That's what it feels like right now in
There's
my
no
studio.
Conspiracies in Henderson.
I feel like my
Nevada
ears
today.
are getting assaulted.
I would say Henderson has no conspiracy weapons of audio destruction today. I'm pretty sure. No one can be bothered. It's Saturday and the federal government is shut down.
All right, so no one's doing any any audio, what they call it.
Yeah,
warfare.
no audio warfare during
Warfare.
the government shutdown.
Oh my gosh. Just Jim's doing it on me today. Okay, so let's talk about New Year's resolutions to improve your pet's health. These are very, very simple things that you can do to improve your pet's health. And you may have been thinking about them and you're like, I haven't really got around to them yet. How do I do it? Where do I get stuff from? Where do I buy stuff from if I need to buy stuff from? Well, I'm making it easy for you. Really, really easy. Here we go. And I do love it when the new year rolls around. I like to reflect on the past year and think about my focus for the new year. And since my big review show of 2018 aired, I've had quite a few people ask me for just easy, doable changes that they can make to improve their pet's health and overall well-being and environment in 2019. And I think the key to any changes is that they're simple. Apply them one at a time, and eventually you'll stack them as you solidify each change. With that said, let's get into some simple, easy to apply changes that make a positive impact on your pet's health and wellness. Number 1, fresh food. So each week, fresh fruits and vegetables are on our shopping list for our family, and that includes our dogs. So fresh food is a key component to good nutrition for people and pets. And research shows that dogs who ate any green leafy vegetables like broccoli reduce the risk of developing bladder cancer by 90%. 90. Likewise, dogs that consumed any orange, yellow vegetables such as carrots reduce their risk by 70%. So with stats like that, who wouldn't want to give that to their pet? And it's easy to incorporate those fresh foods into your pet's daily diet if you're not already feeding a fresh food species appropriate diet. And it's a great, inexpensive, and I think that's key as well, path to improving nutrition. And here's how you can do it. So you can take some spinach, broccoli, kale, carrots, and gently steam it so you can break down the cellulose walls. And if you literally feed 1 tablespoon a day in the meal, that's it. Those small changes would bring some mighty benefits. So think about that. It's a super simple thing. You're probably already buying those vegetables anyway, and steaming them helps break it down. Or if you've got food processor, you can, mush it down into a bit of almost like a, what do you call it? Like a smoothie, and put a tablespoon of that on your pet's food, and you'll instantly make an impact. So for those people who would love to say, I'd love to cook for my pets, I'd love to go raw, but oh my gosh, it's such a big thing. This is a great start. So easy, so simple, doable. You don't have to make any extra effort, and if you are cooking your veg for your family, cook for your pets too. Just don't add any seasonings. Keep it really simple. Keep it really, really chopped up nice and fine. And your dogs will really, really enjoy it without a doubt. So let's move on to coconut oil. And it's a good fat, and it's a good fat to add to your pet's diet, and it provides many benefits. Here are some of those benefits. It improves metabolism, improves skin and coat, digestion, brain function. That's a very good one. It's antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. You can use it to clean ears, you can condition paw pads and noses, and you can clean your dog's teeth with it as well. So first thing you're probably going to ask is, oh gosh, there are so many coconut oils on the market. It's flooded. I have no idea what I'm supposed to look for. Well, keep it very, very simple. What you do need to look for is organic virgin or organic extra virgin coconut oil. That's what you're looking for. Not being paid by Costco, but we get ours from Costco. It's great price, great value. And so that's one place that you can pick that up from. And I'm going to link some stuff out for you as well on the bottom of the show notes. So no need to grab a pen or anything. I'll have them all for you on the show notes once it goes up as a podcast. And you're going to ask the next question, how much do I give to my dog as a supplement? I don't know how much oil I have to give. Well, if you use it as a daily supplement, you'll work up to about 1 teaspoon per 10 pounds of body weight per day. So for a 20-pound dog, you're looking at 2 teaspoons, split them up within the meals. And as with any new addition to your pet supplementation, start with probably a quarter of that amount to avoid any kind of loose stools, any kind of poopocalypse.
Digestive indiscretions.
Yes. And then gradually increase that daily dosage until you get to the recommended teaspoon per 10 pounds. And I like to add the coconut oil to my dog's meals, and I just split it in 2 for the day, and they're good to go. And they really like it. They really like it. Some dogs will eat it straight off the spoon. Why not? And as I mentioned earlier, you can also take your coconut oil and make toothpaste. Yeah. And it's a very easy recipe. It's 2 tablespoons of baking soda, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and a drop of peppermint oil, which is just optional. Yeah, make sure it's a good peppermint oil that's organic. And then you can either use, this is what I think it works very well, is gauze on your finger, or now you can buy the microfiber finger toothbrushes. Because then you can really feel the teeth. It doesn't feel like some big crazy foreign object coming into your dog's mouth. Like, what? It's soft, but you can actually really get on those teeth.
We should get a couple of those.
Yeah, I found them on Amazon this week. And again, I'm going to link to those. And all you do is mix all the ingredients together and then decanter them into a small jar. Place the microfiber finger toothbrush on your finger, dip it into the toothpaste, and rub it onto your pet's teeth. And of course, make oral care a lot of fun for your pets. Work slowly and work your way into a full cleaning. Don't expect to do it all at once because, you want to not freak your dog out when you do it. And if you don't get all the teeth clean, no problem. You can do a little bit each day and it won't overwhelm your pet. And trust me, they'll like the taste of that coconut oil. And it saves you money because you're making your own. You know exactly what's going in it. And I do recommend those microfiber finger toothbrushes. I think it's a brilliant idea. Here's another one. Can you make the noise of a goat? It's a tired goat. It's a tired goat. Goat's milk. Goat's milk. Yeah. Adding goat's milk into your pet's diet improves gut health. Depending on what you have available in your area, you can choose to supplement with fresh raw goat's milk, or you can pick up the powdered kind. And it's easily digestible in 20 minutes. This is why a lot of pet parents like to feed it. And let me tell you what's in goat's milk. Probiotics, vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, trace elements, enzymes, protein, fatty acids, and of course, like I said, digest in 20 minutes. So why would you feed this to your dog? Why would you do that? Here's why you would do it. And these are the health-related issues that it actually can help with. If there's been any kind of heavy metal poisoning, malnutrition, GI disease, kidney disease, liver disease, kidney stones, diabetes, poor digestion, diarrhea. And also, if you've got a dog that's not eating, they will really enjoy goat's milk. And you can pour that on top of their food, or you can feed it separately. I feed it separately as a little afternoon treat for my dogs, and they love it. And it's great because isn't it funny how your dogs in particular will learn the very specific words that you use? So now it's like, who wants goat's milk? Oh, they come running in. They're so excited. So that's a new word that they've learned, and they know it's a good thing. As I say, if you can't get raw goat's milk locally, you can actually buy powdered goat's milk. And that's the one that I've been using because we have a problem in Nevada with getting a particular brand goat's milk that we all really want because of a labeling issue. Because our state requires something else. Now, can you imagine a company having to relabel everything based on one state? It's crazy. But they sell it in Utah, and I do know a friend that's going to go up there. And if you freeze it, you can save it in your freezer, I think up to 2 years. So you could stock up on that stuff. But great health benefits, a great addition to your pet's health. Like I said last week on the show, probiotics and prebiotics going to be a big topic this year. People are really going to get onto the whole gut health because that's where good health starts. And then I've got one more. Yeah, I've got one more. Soap nuts. You may have never heard of soap nuts in your life.
We need more, I think.
We do. We're almost at the end. And I want to say we've had that bag almost a year. Let me tell you about soap nuts. Actually, will you pull up the soap nuts information, Jim, while I tell them about the toxicity of detergents? Detergents, the stuff that you wash your clothes in, the stuff you wash your dishes in, all of that, they have a lot of chemicals in them, all manner of chemicals, none of which are good for you or your pets. And the fragrance alone can cause skin issues. So why wash your clothes, your towels, your bed sheets, your dog beds in something that is not healthy? And what you can do is you can make a switch from your detergent to soap nuts, and it's a safe and cost-saving replacement. Like I said, we bought ours, I think, almost a year ago, and they look like small shriveled up dates. don't they, Jim? They come in a bag, and then what you do is you take 4 or 5 of these soap nuts out. They're organic, and then you put them in a small bag, drawstring bag, and toss that into your washing machine, and you'll get about 4 loads out of 4 or 5 of those. And it's got saponin in it, which is like a natural. It's almost like a natural soap agent, but it is non-toxic. And I'm telling you, it works. And I want to say we paid something like $22 for the bag. It's been almost a year. I mean, what were we paying before detergent, Jim? What were we paying for normal detergent? And how many would you say we would go through in a year?
I mean, we had good detergent. We paid $4 for 30
No, we didn't have good
loads.
detergent.
I mean, it was a good brand detergent.
No, it's why
it was cruelty-free.
No, but
it was cruelty-free.
It was cruelty-free. Now, here's the thing. I think that's something you have to question. People buy lots of things that are cruelty-free. Yes, that's a big tick. Yes, you want to do that. It wasn't tested on animals. Yes. But is it good for animals and people? No. And that's why we changed. And I think that's important for you to know. So when you are looking at these products, cruelty-free, yes, get that on your list most definitely. But then also you could go to the Environmental Working Group. They have an app. It's brilliant. And you can find your product and you can see at what toxicity levels each of these products are, and it lists every single ingredient and the dangers associated with them, and it can help you be informed in a very good way. But that's why we got rid of it, because when I started reading up and I did a show on it, oh my goodness, it was just so like, no, I can't do this to my pets, I can't do this to us. Because think about it, your dogs lay on the dog beds, you give your dog a bath or a shower, you dry them down in the towel, your dogs sleep with you, they're laying on the bed sheets, we're laying on the bed sheets, and it was just a simple, inexpensive way to make that switch. And what I have noticed, I think the last gig you were on, Jim, and the hotel laundered all your clothes, and when you unpacked them, the smell of fragrance made me feel sick on the clothes.
When was that?
I want to say it was where I think it was Omaha, where you had your clothes.
I had to do laundry.
Oh, so no, you had them laundered. Yeah. The smell was so overpowering. I mean, just fragrance alone is not good. Do you have the information on the?
I'm looking it up right now. They're different brands.
No, not the brands. Just organic soap nuts. Just the information on where they are. I think they're from like the Himalayan something or other. Hang on, let me find it. Soap nuts. I want to give you the information. You can get them powdered. If you don't want to do the actual nuts. Here's a tip though. The soap nuts come with a drawstring bag. If I were you, ever get small bags, got a little zipper on the top. That's the best way, because sometimes they come open and those little nuts come flying out. But let me tell you about soap nuts. Here we go. It's called Sapindus, and it's a genus of about 5 to 12 species of shrubs and small trees in the lychee family. And they do look like it, don't they, Jim? And Sapindaceae is native to warm temperate to tropical regions in both Old World and New World. The genus includes both deciduous and evergreen species. And again, you want to go... Well, they are organic because, they grow. But here's another little bit more information on them. And it looks like a berry shell it naturally contains a cleaning agent that works like detergent. And they grow in the Sapindus mucorosi trees in the Himalayas. I was right. But the natural cleaning agent found in these berries is called saponin, and it works as a surfactant, and it breaks the surface tension of the water to penetrate the fibers of your clothing, lifting stains from the fabric and leaving dirt suspended in the water that is rinsed away. And regular salt-bought detergents contain chemical surfactants too. This is just a natural source. Despite the soap in its name, soap does not contain soap that causes soap scum and build up like a regular bar of soap does. And it's very, very gentle on your clothes and your skin. And it makes them ideal for those people with skin issues like eczema, allergies, psoriasis, because they're so mild, and they are perfect for baby clothes and even cloth diapers. And I learned about these from our friend Lilani when she had her babies. She did a whole big switch, and they're harvested They're wild harvested, meaning they are gathered from wild trees grown without any kind of chemicals or fertilizers or pesticides. And saponin actually tastes bad to insects, so no pesticides are needed. And the trees naturally love poor, uncultivated soil. They are organically grown by Mother Earth and certified USDA organic. And I highly recommend them. They are also not allergy safe, which is a little bonus there. And I highly recommend them. Absolutely, it's a great change you can make for you and your pets, so that you're not putting anything toxic on their skin or their paws as you dry them from the shower or they lay on their bed. So those are the changes that you can make this year as your New Year's pet resolutions, so that you can improve your pet's health, well-being, and environment. So just a quick recap: fresh food. Spinach, broccoli, kale, carrot, steam it down, tablespoon a day or tablespoon on each meal. Perfect. You're instantly improving their diet. Coconut oil, great fat, improves their metabolism, skin, coat, digestion, brain function. Put it into your own toothpaste recipe, and you're saving money on pet toothpaste. And this way, you know exactly what you're using. You can supplement the diet with your coconut oil. It's so easy, 1 teaspoon for every 10 pounds weight of your dog, and gradually work your way up to that. And then your goat's milk, it's great benefits containing, for health and gut health, and, it's probiotic, vitamin, mineral, electrolytes, protein, easily digested, and I say great for pets that aren't eating well. And you can get it in the raw goat's milk form or powdered. And then finally, your organic soap nuts. So there are some very easy, doable. You can buy all of these things, anything that you would need, on Amazon. I'm going to link them all in the show notes. And that way you don't have to try and type stuff down and try and remember that. It's all going to be there for you. Now, another way that you can get these show notes that I'm talking about is to subscribe to the radio show. And if you would like to do that, you can hop on over to our website, or you can hop on over to my Instagram account and click the link in my bio, and you'll see where you can subscribe. And what we're doing on that subscription there, it's very, very simple. Even if you listen to the live show, or if you miss the live show will go out to the people who subscribed as a podcast. And within that link, you'll be able to find all of the show notes to make your life super easy. And that way you'll never miss a show. So that's pretty easy for you to do as well. Well, Jim, I think it's been a good show. Our timing has been perfect today, wouldn't you say?
Very good. You even have a few more minutes if you want to keep on rambling on another topic.
Yes.
I would give you 7 more minutes if you'd like.
7 more minutes.
Although you got something under your feet, by the way, so watch out.
It's a furry little dog. It's a furry little dog.
Yeah, and the other one's there on her poang. Just chill.
Do you know what I just ordered this morning? Do you know what I'm into? I'm totally into finding lots and lots of personalized products to recommend to our audience. And you will, particularly if you follow me on Instagram, very active over there. I found some great programs. One of my favorites is Cuddle Clones. And no, it's not a real clone of your pet. But let me tell you something. These are made, oh my gosh, so well. The quality is unreal, and how much they look like your pet is uncanny. And they do work with incredible artists that take photos of your pets once you choose the product you want, whether it's a cuddly toy, whether it's bedroom slippers, whether it's a bag, and they clone your pet. It's so impressive. And then the artists go to work on the markings and any interesting characteristics that they have. And when you actually, you can customize it once you upload your pictures. What you'll do is you'll say, I want my pet to have an open mouth, a closed mouth, standing or seated. So you get to really, really personalize it. And honest to goodness, they're so impressive. There's a couple of them. You look at the photo, you go, ooh, which one's the real dog? Because they're that good. And that's called Cuddle Clones. So I've been looking at lots and lots of companies that do personalized products. I think that people really like that special touch. Well, this morning, I ordered a mug. And if anyone knows me from my Instagram account, every morning I post a little boomerang of my coffee that I have in the morning. I always say, good morning, have a lovely day. And it's a different cup, teacup, mug, you name it. I've got quite the collection. I would say it's a healthy hobby that I have. And so I found another company. You just rolled your eyeballs in the back of your head.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So I've just ordered this mug that's going to have my 3 dogs on it with their names. So when that arrives, because I like to check out, make sure the quality's great. And if I love it, I'm going to recommend it to you. And it's a very sweet design. It's very, very sweet. And it's the back of my dogs. I really like that idea, but their names will be on it. So when that comes in, I will let you know about that. Well, Jim, it's been a good show. Lots of great news. I do like the good news coming out of the animal world because there's lots of horrible news. And so it's good to hear all the good news.
This is our second show of 2019
It
already.
is our second show. I already.
Crazy.
It's flying already. It's like, really?
Crazy.
Yeah, it's been a good start to the year, hasn't it, Jim? And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, and now you've got your pet tips that you can strive to meet those goals of improving your pet's health, wellness, nutrition, and environment. And we'll provide more as we go along throughout the year like we always do. And of course, like I said earlier, this show is dedicated to Sweet Rosie. And remember, if you've liked the show and you've been listening on your smartphone or maybe your laptop, it's very, very easy to share the show. And of course, now you get the option to subscribe and get the current show directly sent into your inbox. And remember this, you can always help an animal in need, either rescue, adopt, donate, volunteer, or share their information. Rescue your next family member. Replace the word shop with adopt, and be kind to all animals. Jim, thank you so much for engineering the show today and producing it. It's very nice of you. Thank you to my dogs for just being adorable and cute. And thank you to you, the listeners, for listening in today. Please take a moment to like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and don't forget to post pictures of your pets on our Facebook page because we do love to see your fur babies. And don't forget their names. Tell me their names. And today, you've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, where it's all about pets, people, and pop culture. I'm your host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs. And always kiss your pets good morning and good night. And I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture. You've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Visit Vegas Rock Dog Radio for more information. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And subscribe on iTunes and iHeartRadio. And remember, give your fur babies a big kiss from me, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs. You must not rely on the information in this broadcast from our hosts as an alternative to medical advice from your veterinarian. If you have any specific questions about a medical matter regarding your pets, you should consult your veterinarian or specialist.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.